Man, I didn't think that this week could get any worse for America. I didn't think this week could get any worse for, frankly, for the Democrat Party, but it has. We're going to be talking about in this block the California wildfires. Hello and welcome to the Carl Jackson Show. This is your daily dose of objective truth in a world of confusion and lies. Let me just remind you of some of the things that we've learned just this week in a short period of time. I mean, you guys will be watching this podcast, those of you on SNC TV, a little later over the weekend. But just this week has been, obviously we've had President Jimmy Carter over last weekend passed away. That was big news, and people had different, differing opinions politically about Jimmy Carter, but for the most part, respected his life afterwards, his post-presidency, albeit some of the things that he said I didn't appreciate, but for the most part, a decent guy, a horrible president. We had that occurred, and some people would, battle back and forth on that. We found out that the FBI is still covering up the J6 pipe bomber story. Those are just some of the things. We had Joe Biden awarded the Presidential Medal of Honor to people that didn't deserve it, some who did, but plenty who didn't, including Hillary Clinton and George Soros and Tim Gill of all people. George Soros, this guy that funds these defund the police movements, these woke AGs across the country that are responsible for unleashing criminals back into neighborhoods and terrorizing residents in urban communities and in blue cities around the country. Yeah, that guy, Joe Biden, awarded the Congressional Medal of Honor to. We also found out that Joe Biden is releasing 11 Yemeni terrorists that were involved in the 9/11 attack this week from Guantanamo Bay. So just as you think that things can't get worse, he also gave the Congressional Medal of Honor to Tim Gill. Tim Gill, LGBTQ mega donor that is behind some of this, the trans movement nonsense, the fight to put men in women's sports. Yeah, he gave him a Congressional Medal of Honor, really soloing the presidential, Medal of Honor. In my opinion, and it goes on and on. We've had Chuck Schumer go on television and literally lie about knowing how far confronted on and lying about Joe Biden's mental acuity. Simone Sanders has done the same thing. I mean, it's absolutely amazing what we've witnessed in just a short period of time. It's like the Democrat Party has come undone, and yet it still gets worse. We've had this New Orleans terrorist attacker that Democrats are trying their best to not talk about or frame it in a different way. And you've got some DEI hires in the FBI and in the police department there. The superintendent over police department was a DEI hire. The FBI, one of the FBI spokespersons, was a DEI hire. Come to find out that they train each other, or the superintendent of the police department trains the FBI in DEI wokeness. And so they had the material to be able to prevent a terrorist attack like the one that we saw in New Orleans. But because of DEI hires, they were incapable of doing that. And now I want to take you to Los Angeles, because in Los Angeles, we have another DEI problem. Guys, this stuff, DEI stands for nothing more than, it's just incompetence. It's incompetent people that are being elevated to positions that they're not competent to fill. And we saw that in Los Angeles. The mayor of Los Angeles, Mayor Karen Bass, not too long ago elected mayor, should have never been mayor. She was in Congress forever. She was woke inside of Congress. She was just one of these people that always yelled racism. And then LA decides to elect her as their mayor. Well, since she's been in as mayor, one of the things that she did is she went big on green, spending, I believe, $100 million on green energy initiatives. She cut the budget of the fire department by approximately $20 million, and she prioritized diversity, equity, and inclusion in her administration. Now, here's Mayor Karen Bass of Los Angeles, cut number 26, I believe it is, Gabe. Here's Mayor Karen Bass being confronted because when the California wildfires broke out, she was in Ghana celebrating who knows what with some of the African leaders in Ghana. And now she flies back today while her city is being torched thanks to Democrat policies. Yes, I'm blaming Democrats. Carl, you shouldn't go, yes, I should get political on this. It's time for California residents to wake up. Obviously, Mayor Bass didn't start the fire. I don't know how the fire started. You have the Santa Ana winds that contributed to the quick spread of the fires, but there was a whole lot of incompetence in between, all because of Democrat policies. Here's Mayor Karen Bass. Roll it, please, Gabe.
Do you owe citizens an apology for being absent while their homes were burning? Do you regret cutting the fire department budget by millions of dollars, Madam Mayor? Have you nothing to say today?
Can you back up, Boss? Appreciate it.
Have you absolutely nothing to say to the citizens today? Elon Musk says that you're utterly incompetent. Are you considering your position? Madam Mayor, have you absolutely nothing to say to the citizens today who are dealing with this disaster? No apology for them?
She was trying to escape media coverage, hence
Do you
the
think
side
you should
door.
have been visiting Ghana while this was unfolding back home?
Here you have it sounds like an English reporter that's trying to hold her accountable and ask her questions.
Madam Mayor, let me ask you just again, have you anything to say to the citizens today as you return?
No. They're gonna come.
Ma'am, hold on 1 second.
Madam Mayor, just a few words for the citizens today as you return to deal with the catastrophe.
Can you take this down? David, as you say, she wasn't very keen to answer any of your questions there. And fire chiefs are also admitting that they just don't have enough personnel to take out the fires.
Yeah, they're fighting all sorts of challenges. They're talking about a water shortage. There are reports of fire hydrant failures. They've been unable to use firefighting aircraft for much of the day due to the smoke that is billowing ominously.
We can end it there.
Hills where the wildfires
We can end it
raging.
there.
And I
So he's
suppose
just
despite that
outlined.
political
He just outlined many of the incompetencies in the Democrat Party. If you'll throw the clock back up for me, Gabe, just many of the incompetencies of the Democrat Party in California. This is a party, I want you to understand what this green energy stuff is about. It isn't about saving the planet. It isn't about saving your lives. It is not an existential threat to your life. For God's sakes, you breathe out carbon dioxide. That helps the greening around the world. It's called photosynthesis, something that we learned in first grade science. Here's what you need to know real quick about these California green advocates and Mayor Bass and Gavin Newsom and all of these people. In 2009, California became the first state to intentionally deny power to its residents. No power for their homes, their EVs, Teslas, cell phones, even some medical equipment. California, keep in mind, would be the fifth largest economy in the entire world if it were a country. In 2018, 10,000 homes burned to the ground. Over 80 people died in a horrific Paradise, California fire. One of the worst in California recorded history, if not the worst. In 2017, the Redwood fire killed 9 people. And climate activists, what they continue to do is blame climate change. But the truth of the matter is they have a public utility company, PG&E, that is now bankrupt. Because they were sued by the state and many people within the state. But the problem is PG&E were forced to go green. So they spent in 2018 $2.4 billion in renewables, thanks to Gavin Newsom. They didn't fix their existing infrastructure, some of which was 100 years old. So these areas are tinderboxes. These electrical poles are tinderboxes, not to mention California no longer has controlled burns. I mean, you can do it on your personal residence, I guess, if you're given the okay, at least I assume. But California doesn't do it in mass. They don't clean up the brush. They no longer thin out their forests. You've had lumber companies that have gone bankrupt and have had to leave California. And as a result of that, what you have is a lot of areas in California, thanks to these green activists, that are absolute tinderboxes that are ready to just go up in flames. So the moment you get some type of fire and then you combine Santa Ana winds, California is going to go up in flames. These people that claim that they want to save the planet, that are all into EVs, they're not helping the planet. All right. They're not helping you. They're endangering your lives. California had serious rains, a couple weeks of rains over a few years ago. They didn't even save the water in their reservoirs. They let it go back into the ocean. And as a result, they have a shortage of water. They didn't even have enough water in their fire hydrants in Pacific Palisades to put out the wire. These DEI and green energy punks need to go. They're killing people, literally, with their policies. We'll be back. Hey, Carl Jackson here for My Pillow, and My Pillow is excited to announce that they still have their Christmas extravaganza going. Get this season's flannel sheets for as low as $59.98, but they won't last long, so get them while you can. They're famous My Slippers. These haven't been on sale for over a year. They're regularly priced at $119.98, but for a limited time only, they're $59.98, and their 6-piece towel sets are back in stock with extremely limited quantities. They're only $29.98. With hundreds of My Pillow products, there's something for everyone. From bathrobes, duvets, quilts, down comforters, so much more. Go to mypillow.com or call 800-858-0263 and be sure to use promo code Carl to save on all My Pillow products. That's promo code Carl. Flannel sheets for as low as $59.98. 6-piece towel sets for as low as $29.98. And that's not all. They're even extending their 60-day money-back guarantee all the way through March 1st of this year. Plus, all orders $75 or more ship absolutely free. MyPillow.com, promo code Carl.